Good evening, everyone. I now call the meeting of the Hampton School Board to order, June 1st. Ms. Bowers, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Afanja?
Here.
Ms. Banks-Gray? Ms. Cherry?
Here.
Mr. Kilgore?
Here.
Mr. Samuels?
Present.
Dr. Woodhouse? Here. Dr. Mason?
Here. All right. Let it be known that all board members are here with the exception of Ms. Banks-Gray. Ms. Banks-Gray is out sick at the moment, and Dr. Woodhouse is at a remote location. And so at this time, the chair will entertain a motion from the board to allow Dr. Woodhouse to participate remotely.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we allow Dr. Woodhouse to participate in tonight's meeting remotely. Any discussion? Ms. Bowers, would you please call for the vote?
Ms. Afanja?
Aye.
Ms. Cherry?
Aye.
Mr. Kilgore?
Aye.
Mr. Samuels?
Aye.
Dr. Mason?
Aye, motion carries. Dr. Woodhouse, would you please, for the record, state where your location is for this meeting?
I'm located at 3434 Alpine Drive, Augusta, Georgia, 30906.
All right, thank you, Dr. Woodhouse, and welcome.
Thank you.
Augusta,
Georgia. So, moving along, we will have our opening, and I'll turn this right over to the meeting over to our student rep, Ms. Tamiya Kelly.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we will be led in our Pledge of Allegiance by Solara Jones, a 5th grade student at Mary T. Christian Elementary. Solara, will you please come to the podium? I pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much for leading us in our pledge. Now, I understand you have something with you today. Would you mind sharing with us?
Yes. Well, I'm going to tell you what it means to be a champion at Mary T. Christian Elementary. A champion is someone who has the courage to take risks. A champion has the mindset to do anything they put their mind to. A champion is someone who is confident in themselves. A champion is someone who thinks of others and is willing to stand up for them, even if it's not the popular thing to do. A champion is someone who is considerate of their teacher, classmates, and learning environment. A champion is someone who doesn't look down on themselves. A champion can say, I can and I will, instead of I can't and I won't. Champions surround themselves with great people, and champions never give up.
Thank you so much for those wonderful words of wisdom. So, I know you're a 5th grade student, which means next year you'll be going to middle school. What are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to learning different things and getting better at math.
That's a wonderful goal to have, and one I need to work on myself. So, would you mind telling us who you have with you tonight?
I have my mom and my third oldest sister.
And who do you have with you from your school?
I have Miss Dickerson, my teacher, and my principal, Mr. Stone.
Well, thank you all so much for allowing Solara to lead us tonight. Can we all have a hand for Solara?
Thank you so much for being here with us. Solara, would you have your folks please stand so they can be seen by everyone? Your mom, your sister, your principal, and your teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all so much for bringing her here with us and sharing her with us tonight and really talking about what it means to be a champion. So, any other comments from board members? Okay. Moving right along. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adopt tonight's agenda. Any discussion? Ms. Bowers, would you please call for the vote?
Ms. Cherry?
Aye.
Mr. Kilgore?
Aye.
Mr. Samuels?
Aye.
Dr. Woodhouse?
Aye.
Ms. Lafanja?
Aye.
Dr. Mason?
Aye, motion carries. At this time, I'll turn the meeting over to Ms. Gorel for recognitions.
Thank you, sir. All right. Good evening, Chair Dr. Mason, Vice Chair Ms. Cherry, members of our school board, Superintendent Dr. Smith, and members of our Hampton City Schools family. You know, it's really hard to believe that this is the last televised school board meeting for the 2021-2022 school year. This year truly has gone by, I feel, faster than any other. But we are here and excited this evening to recognize an outstanding staff member as well as several of our exceptional students. So at this time, I will ask that Mr. Jason Samuels please proceed to the microphone at center stage to assist with the recognitions. I'll say, don't drop them, they're in order, sir. There you go, Ms. Reeves will keep them safe for you. All right, we ready?
I am ready.
Okay. So this evening, we are going to begin our recognitions with our Technology Leadership Award. And this prestigious award recognizes staff who are not only at the top of their game when it comes to technology, but also exhibits the best teamwork, leadership, creativity, and innovative spirit to make big things happen with technology. In previous years, we have recognized Cooper Elementary Magnet School for Technology, Jones Magnet Middle School, the English, Math, and Library departments of Bethel High School, the Academy of Cybersecurity, Engineering, and Robotics at Phoebus High School, and the Department of Innovation and Professional Learning, as well as several individual teachers. And this year's Technology Leadership Award goes to one very special staff member. So would Miss Nadia Murray, a behavior specialist at Lindsay Middle School, please join me up front next to the podium. I'm going to stand right there and face the board. So apparently, Miss Murray has made quite an impact on her colleagues at Lindsay, as she received 22 nominations for the Technology Leadership Award. I think that deserves a round of applause all in itself. So one of her colleagues shared this about Miss Murray. Miss Murray is a wonderful example of how technology can have a positive impact on our students. She is consistent in her communication with our parents and guardians. She has visited homes, promoted and created meetings online, and has sat in informative discussions during parent-teacher conferences. She is the go-to person for student Chromebook issues and replacements. We can always depend on her to locate or manage a computer crisis during the school day. Mr. Samuels?
Miss Murray, would you please join me on stage? And you can stand right next to me. Thank you. It appears that Miss Murray has taken on the role of Chromebook czar at Lindsay this school year. She responds quickly anytime a student needs a replacement computer or charger. She does periodic sweep looking for computers left in rooms so she can determine those with is and get it back to the student. Her support has not only had a huge positive impact on school operations, but she also demonstrates responsibility uses of cell phones and computers for the students at Lindsay. And so, Ms. Murray, on behalf of our chair, Dr. Mason, Vice Chair, Ms. Cherry, the Hampton School Board, and our Superintendent, Dr. Jeffrey Smith, I am honored to present you with this plaque. And it says, Nadia Murray, Technology Leadership Award, 2021-2022, Hampton City Schools.
And before you return to your seat, I'm going to grab my phone and take a picture of you. And I'm going to make sure I don't drop everything, as I just want.
But Ms. Murray, before you return to the seat, do you have your Lindsay family with you? Administration, teachers? Mr. Hobson, how are you doing, sir? Great, how are you, sir? I'm doing well. And we also have Mr. John Eagle in the audience. Mr. Eagle. Any family members here tonight? Oh, okay, we're all family. Yes. So thank you once again for receiving this award, and look forward to the great work you're going to do at Lindsay next year.
If you all could get together, get a photo. Excellent, thank you. And as she returns to her seat, I just, again, want to point out 22 nominations. You know, that really speaks to the support you're providing not only students but colleagues, that they, you know, really lean to you for assistance. And I really liked the part that Mr. Samuel said about not just making sure everyone has a Chromebook, but you're teaching responsible use of cell phones and technology, which is extremely important, especially with our middle school students. So thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, so now it is our pleasure to recognize the class of 2022 salutatorians for each of our 4 high schools. So at this time, would Jessica Fan, Nasir, Isa, Natalie, Para, and Kayla Wiggins, if you would join me up front by the podium. You just want to stand right up here by the podium?
Nasir is excited.
He is. All right, but we are going to begin actually with Bethel High School salutatorian, who is Jessica Fan. Jessica has an impressive grade point average of 4.52. Her activities include Scholastic Bowl, Hampton Youth Commission, volunteering for Williams O Delicious, which is a bakery, and a mentorship on the underrepresentation of women in STEM. Mr. Samuels?
Miss Jessica, would you please join me on stage? Don't be shy. Okay, so Jessica was accepted to Virginia Commonwealth University and the University of Virginia. She will be attending Virginia Commonwealth University in the fall and majoring in biology. She hopes to become a physician assistant after completing college. Outstanding. So, Ms. Jessica, on behalf of the Hampton School Board Chair, Dr. Mason, Vice Chair, Ms. Cherry, the Hampton School Board, and our Superintendent, Dr. Jeffrey Smith, I am honored to present you with this certificate. And what I'm going to do, Jessica, I'm going to read to you the certificate. It says, congratulations, this certificate is proudly presented to Jessica Fawn, Bethel High School Salutatorian, and it has the signature of Dr. Jeffrey Smith, the superintendent, and our chairman, Dr. Mason.
And Jessica, if you want to stay right up on stage and slide over, we're going to keep representing the rest of the salutatorians. So next and I'm going to make sure I say this correctly because this is your turn on stage. Is it Nasir? Nasser. Nasser Isa. Yes. All right, I got the second part. There we go. Nasser Isa is graduating with a grade point average of 4.58. His activities include president of Rho Kappa History Honor Society, vice president of the National Honor Society, the Science National Honor Society, the German Honor Society, sprechen Sie Deutsch, varsity forensics team, and that's all I know, so don't joke, varsity soccer team, and a volunteer at the Virginia Living Museum. Mr. Samuels?
All right. Nasser, please join me on stage. And I think we have something in common. We both love the real football, not soccer. All right. So Nasser was accepted to the University of Virginia, Rochester University, Vassar College, and Northwestern University. And he has decided to attend Northwestern University and major in computer science, and he hopes to work as a software developer engineer after college. So, Nasser, on behalf of our chair, Dr. Mason, vice chair, Ms. Cherry, and the Hampton School Board, and our superintendent, Dr. Jeffrey Smith, I am honored to present you with this certificate. And it is similar to the one that Jessica received. And it says, congratulations, the certificate is proudly presented to Nasser Isa, Hampton High School Salutatorian.
All right, we are moving on to our Kecoughtan High Salutatorian for the class of 2022. Miss Natalie, and is it Para? Para, perfect. Natalie has a grade point average of 4.63. Her activities include Youth and Government Club, Model General Assembly, Conference on National Affairs, Model Judiciary Program. She serves as a Riverside Regional Medical Center volunteer and a junior ambassador, Rho Kappa History Honor Society, National Honor Society, Art Honor Society, French Honor Society, I do not know French, so I cannot respond to that, Science Honor Society, Math Honor Society, Political Director of March for Our Lives Virginia, Field Hockey, Dance, High Y Council, and working at Little E's Convenience Store. How do you have time to work? I should be at work right now. Oh! Well, we're glad you're here with us. So I will turn it over to Mr. Samuels.
So Natalie, since you have to be at work, we have to just expedite this process. Please join me on stage. And Natalie was accepted to the University of Virginia and Virginia Tech. She will be attending the University of Virginia in the fall to major in neuroscience. She plans to conduct research and clinical work and clinical work and identifying diseases after college. And so, once again, on behalf of our chair, Dr. Mason, Vice Chair Cherry, and the Hampton School Board, and our Superintendent, Dr. Jeffrey Smith, I am honored to present the certificate to you. And it's similar to the one that Nasser received, and it says, congratulations, the certificate is proudly presented to Natalie Para, Kecoughtan High School Salutatorian. Congratulations.
I'm going to have you come over. We're going to get a picture at the end of the four of you. All right. And moving on to our salutatorian from Phoebus High School is Miss Kayla Wiggins. Kayla is graduating with a 4.61 grade point average. Her activities include varsity girls soccer, marching band, volunteering at elementary schools, SCA senior class president, National Honor Society, National Society for High School Scholars, tutoring, and English Honor Society.
So Kayla, would you please join me on stage? And once again, Kayla and I have something in common, football. So Kayla was accepted to George Mason University, James Madison University, Longwood University, Old Dominion University, Radford University, Seton Hall University, Ohio State University, the University of Richmond, University of Virginia, Washington and Lee University, and West Virginia University.
Ooh.
That's not West Virginia State.
What's West Virginia? It's West Virginia, that's all that matters.
That's a running joke between Miss Cherry and I. She attended West Virginia State University back in the day.
Why it had to be back in the day, Mr. Samuels?
Because it's older than Kayla. All right. Kayla will be attending Old Dominion University, where she will major in speech and language pathology and audiology and world languages and cultures. Upon college graduation, she plans to enroll in graduate school to earn her master's in speech language pathology and audiology, and eventually enroll in a doctorate program to study neuropsychology. Now get this. Additionally, Kayla is a recent Hampton City School ACE Academy graduate from the Thomas Nelson Community College, receiving her associate's degree on May the 16th, 2022, and she received her Thomas Nelson Community College President's Award for the class of 2022. This award is presented in recognition of exceptional academic performance. Criteria for the award includes a high cumulative grade point average, completing at least 60 semester hours of coursework, and receiving an associate's degree. Just reading this, it's enormous. And at your age to accomplish so much, it's outstanding. And you are a representation of your family and your community. So, Ms. Kayla, on behalf of our chair, Dr. Mason, Vice Chair, Ms. Cherry, the Hampton School Board, and our Superintendent, Dr. Jeffrey Smith, I am honored to present this certificate to you, and it reads, similar to the others, congratulations, this certificate is proudly presented to Kayla Wiggins, Phoebus High School Salutatorian.
As they're returning to their seats, Mr. Samuels, I'm going to jump in. You know, we want to commend you, obviously, on your academic excellence, but you have had some support along the way. So we would like to recognize your parents, your family members, your teachers, your administrators, and any other special guests in the audience. Would you please stand to be recognized as well? Congrats, guys. You did a good job raising them.
Yes.
All right. Next, we are going to honor and recognize our 2022 Valedictorians. So at this time, would Andrew Kwong, Emily Epstein, Madison Wilhelm, and Samantha Champion please come forward and join me beside the podium? Andrew, come on up since we're going to recognize you first. So Andrew is Bethel's valedictorian and is graduating with a cumulative grade point average of 4.68. His activities include the Scholastic Bowl, Model UN, varsity soccer, so there you go again, Mr. Samuels, mentorship at Hampton University, and Youth Volunteer Corps.
All right, Andrew, please join me on stage. Okay. Andrew was accepted to the University of Lynchburg, Virginia Tech, University of Virginia, and Georgia Tech. Andrew will attend the University of Virginia, where he plans to major in English, in Earth and astronomy, astronomy, science, and meteorology. After college, he plans to pursue higher education and possibly obtain a research position. Okay, so Andrew, on behalf of our chair, Dr. Mason, Vice Chair, Ms. Cherry, the Hampton School Board, and Superintendent Dr. Jeffrey Smith, I am honored to present this certificate to you. And it's similar to the salutatorian, and it says, congratulations. This certificate is proudly presented to Andrew Wong, okay, Bethel High School valedictorian.
All right, next we are moving on to the Hampton Crabbers valedictorian for 2022, Miss Emily Epstein. And it is Epstein, correct? Okay, perfect. Emily has a cumulative grade point average of 4.59. Her activities include serving as a junior ambassador and volunteer at Riverside Regional Medical Center, a volunteer with the ARC of Greater Williamsburg, president of the Science National Honor Society, member of the French National Honor Society, and a student group member at Waters Edge Church.
And Emily, would you join me on stage, please? Here, thank you. So Emily was accepted to Virginia Tech, George Mason University, the College of William and Mary, and the University of Virginia. Emily has decided to attend the University of Virginia to major in psychology, and I believe that's in common with Dr. Mason in that field, sir. She hopes of becoming a clinical psychologist or obtaining a similar degree in the field. On behalf of the chair, Dr. Mason, Vice Chair, Ms. Cherry, the Hampton School Board, and our Superintendent, Dr. Jeffrey Smith, I am honored to present you this certificate, Ms. Emily. And it's similar to Andrew. It says, congratulations. The certificate is proudly presented to Emily Epstein, Hampton High School valedictorian.
All right. From Kecoughtan, we have Madison Wilhelm. Madison is graduating with a cumulative grade point average of 4.67. Her activities include swim team, youth and government club, Rho Kappa, student leadership team at church, swim instructor at the YMCA, a volunteer at Bluebird Gap Farm, the National Honor Society, the National French Honor Society, and the Math Honor Society.
All right, Madison, will you join me on stage? And you may not know that I have history with Madison. I've known Madison since was like this yay high.
Really?
I don't know. She was a part of the Academy of Ballet at Hampton, where my daughter was also a member. So it's an honor to see your parents in the audience, and I am so proud of you and all your accomplishments. So I'm just going to read your bio. Madison was accepted to Liberty University, Baylor University, and Lipscomb University. She will attend Liberty University and double major in global studies and business. Madison is not sure of her future plans, but is interested in possibly working for a nonprofit organization. And Madison, on behalf of our chair, Dr. Mason, our vice chair, Ms. Cherry, the Hampton School Board, and our superintendent, Dr. Jeffrey Smith, I am honored to present to you the certificate. And it says, congratulations, this certificate is proudly presented to Madison Wilhelm, Kecoughtan High School valedictorian.
Last but certainly not least, we have Phoebus High School's val for the class of 2022, Samantha Champion. Samantha is graduating with a grade point average of 4.64. Her activities include varsity field hockey, varsity soccer, Model United Nations, National Honor Society, the English Honor Society, the Science Honor Society, and volunteering in childcare at Coastal Community Church.
And so, Ms. Samantha, will you join me on stage, please? And then I, too, have something in common with Ms. Samantha, because her mother, Ms. Champion, works at Hunter B. Andrews Pre-K-8. So Samantha was accepted for early decision at Sweetbriar College and plans to attend in the fall to major in engineering and mathematics. She is undecided at this time which career path she will take. Also, Samantha is also a recent Hampton City School ACE Academy graduate from Thomas Nelson Community College, receiving her associate's degree on May the 16th, 2022. So Madison, on behalf of our chair, Dr. Mason, our vice chair, Ms. Cherry, the Hampton School Board, and our superintendent, Dr. Jeffrey Smith, I am honored to present this certificate to you. And it reads, congratulations, this certificate is proudly presented to Samantha Champion, Phoebus High School valedictorian. And before they take their seat, will all family members, administrators, and support and the community please stand and applaud these champions?
So one item I'd like to share with you all is that we're extremely proud of our vals and sals, obviously. There will be an article in the Daily Press the Sunday before graduation, a full spread on our vals and sals, as well as a full spread on our TNCC associate grads. So two of you will be in there twice on that Sunday. Also, I know that you all were honored at City Council, I believe last week, and they showed a small snippet of a video that was created. We have the longer version, and we will be putting that out on social social media and sharing that the week of graduation to honor our valedictorians and salutatorians. So, be on the lookout for social media for those videos. You all did an amazing job. I enjoyed watching those ahead of time. And be on the lookout for the daily press to see you honored with your pictures in the newspaper. And then as well as the marquee at the Coliseum, there will be congratulations for graduation day. So congratulations. And Dr. Mason, at this time, I think Mr. Samuel and I we're done. It's your turn, sir. No.
Before we go into recognizing our student reps, let's give our salutatorians and our valedictorians a standing ovation because they have done some outstanding work representing Hampton City Schools. Okay. Now it is my pleasure to recognize our 2021-2022 School Board Student Representatives. The role of the representative is to speak on behalf of the Hampton students and on issues and policies that directly affect the student body. This is a non-voting role for the student. However, they do play an active role in board discussions, a very active role in board discussions. All right, they attend all public board meetings, special events, and graduations. The student representatives are selected from a pool of applicants who submit applications to the school board and participate in formal interviews. At this time, I would like to recognize our two student representatives. Would Tamiya Kelly and Muhammad Al-Safar please join me on stage? Woo-hoo. All right, I'm going to begin with Ms. Tamiya Kelly. Tamiya is a junior and an international baccalaureate student at Hampton High School.
Hampton High School.
The Hampton High School, yes. Where you can't crush a crab, right? Okay, all right. All right. She served as president of the Political Analysis Club and the Robotics Club, and is a member of the Hampton High School wrestling team. I did say wrestling team. That's how she got the job. We didn't want any smoke from Miss Kelly last year. So. All right. She has served as a YMCA youth and government representative, volunteered at Bluebird Gap Farm, and worked in meal prep for youth at Zion Baptist Church. She is also a tutor for foreign students seeking interest in American studies. All right. Next, we have Muhammad Al-Safar. Muhammad is also a junior and an international baccalaureate student at Hampton High School. He is a member of many clubs, including the Key Club, Chrome Club, Executive Club, National Junior Honor Society, Tri-M Music Honor Society, and Youth Government. He participates in soccer, marching band, pep band, symphonic band, concert band, jazz band, and steel drum band ensemble. I think that's all of the bands at the school, huh? All right. In addition, Muhammad has served as a Leadership Development Institute ambassador, participated in honor band, and volunteered with Commonwealth Catholic Charities. So, on behalf of myself, our Vice Chair, Ms. Cherry, the school board, and the Superintendent, Dr. Smith, we would like to thank you both for your time this year and your dedication to Hampton City Schools. Now I'm going to give you some plaques, okay? And so please accept these plaques as a token of recognition for your hard work, okay? And I'm going to ask board members to join me also. Yes. Okay. All right, and each plaque will have your name on it, of course, and it reads, in recognition of service as a student representative to the Hampton School Board 2021-2022, Muhammad Al-Safar. All right, if any family members, school representatives are here with Tamiya and Muhammad, if you'll please stand to be recognized as well. All right, now Tamiya and Muhammad, we thank you again. We certainly look forward to seeing great things with you and all of the things you will accomplish in the upcoming school year, and we expect you to continue to do some amazing things, okay? And this concludes our recognitions for the evening, am I correct? All right. All right. Next on the agenda is item 3, the consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion from the board on the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, move approval of the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been properly moved by Mr. Kilgore and seconded by Mr. Samuels that we approve tonight's consent agenda as presented. Any discussion from board members? Ms. Bowers, will you please call for the vote?
Mr. Kilgore?
Aye.
Mr. Samuels?
Aye.
Dr. Woodhouse?
Aye.
Ms. Lafanja?
Aye.
Ms. Cherry?
Aye.
Dr. Mason?
Aye, motion carries. Next is superintendent and staff report. So at this time, I'll turn the meeting over to Dr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Madam Vice Chair, members of the school board. We'll start with our first presentation, and that is the 2022-2023 Student Rights and Responsibilities Handbook, and Dr. Sarita Kaysen will be presenting information.
Good evening, Dr. Mason, Vice Chair Cherry, members of the Hampton School Board, Dr. Smith, members of the division leadership team, division staff, and members of the community. This evening, I'm presenting the recommended changes to the 2022-2023 Rights and Responsibilities Handbook. As you all may remember, over the last 2 years, we've undergone some major changes to align with the new model guidance as recommended by the board, Virginia Department of Education's, the changes that were made to align with the leveled responses. Let me slow down a second, getting ahead of myself. So with that information, the changes that have been made over the last 2 years, it put Hampton City Schools in a really good place because we were ahead of the game when it came to making sure that we were up to par on those changes that were to be made. So the changes that we're recommending this year are fairly minor. We are continuing to work with the Power School team. As you all know, that there will be a new component added. The incident management will be added to Power School, so that way our SBAR reporting will be accurate and up to date as possible. So we continue to work with the team when it comes to that. So the proposed changes, there's some general changes that are being made, such as the dates throughout the Rights and Responsibilities Handbook to include the cover to update to the 2022-2023 school year. On the more information page, we did update some numbers and some titles. We updated the calendar for the 2022-2023 school year, which does include the new start, which will be taking place this year. Table of contents that will be corrected and updated once all revisions have been made updated. Ms. Kelly Girl updated the severe weather plan. The excused absence, we updated the wording to include the chronic illness form. That's not a new form to the division, but we did want to include the wording that lets parents know that that form needs to be resubmitted every year, and that was added by Ms. Glory Gill. Promotion and retention policy, that information was updated by Ms. Carla Mon. Electronic device information, just based on where we continue to go with our devices, that information was verified and looked over by Dr. James Maxlow. Student development and counseling, updated and added some wording, and again, that was done by Ms. Mon. And again, Ms. Glory Gill added some Virginia mandates on immunization to include physicals. All right. Are there any questions that I can answer at this time as it relates to the Rights and Responsibilities Handbook? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have a question?
Our next presentation will be the FY 2021-2022 other funds budget update, and Ms. Branch, the CFO, will provide this overview.
Good evening, Dr. Mason, Vice Chair Cherry, school board members, Dr. Smith, and the Hampton community. It's my pleasure tonight to present an update on our fiscal year 2021-2022 other funds budget, and specifically that is Fund 51, Food and Nutrition Services, Fund 94, Athletics, and Fund 95, the Hampton City Schools Instructional Resource Toolkit. So each year is part of the budget development process, and really during that data collection phase, we utilize estimates based on the information that we know at that point in time for the upcoming school year. But when it comes to July 1, there is a process that still has to continue within the actual school division. So I posed the question, what happens after closeout? After the school board has adopted a budget, what happens next? So within the finance department, we go through a budget monitoring process. So we are looking at each one of our funds from either a weekly up to a monthly basis, and that could change based on the timing of the year. So for example, in July and August, since that's the summer, the activity is a lot lower. So we may look at our funds on a monthly basis. But for example, for our school operating fund, Fund 50, especially when we get towards the end of the year, we're looking at that at least weekly and sometimes daily. So in the finance department, we are monitoring our budget. We're always looking at our revenues, our expenditures, and then we also look at other things like the cash balances, accounts payable, accounts receivable, and even our fund balance. So I'm going to specifically talk about our revenues. So if revenues are trending above where we think we originally estimated, then we have to make sure that we come back to the school board to request for those additional funds to be approved. If it is Fund 50, we also have a second layer of approval with City Council. Sometimes revenues can actually trend below, and that's not anything out of the norm. I would say it would be not normal if we hit the revenue target like right where we thought it would be. So it's not unusual for our revenues not to exactly match what we estimated. But when it comes to revenues that are trending below, we have to look at our budget plan, and sometimes that means adjustments. So we often will come to the school board as part of our monthly board report. We talk about the transfers to and from the technology classification. If we need to look at cross-categorical transfers, those actually come to the school board as well for approval. Tonight, again, we're only looking at those three funds, and I'll talk about those in more detail over the next couple of slides. But with those, we are in a situation where our revenues are trending above where we originally projected. So first, looking at Fund 51, the School Food Nutrition Services Fund. So back during the development of the budget, and this was the time frame of calendar year 2020 through about half of calendar year 2021. So at that time, we were still, uncertain of how the pandemic would impact not only just the school division as a whole, but also food and nutrition services. So we came to the school board with a very conservative budget, because one of the major things that was in flux at that time were the extension of waivers from the USDA. Yeah. So after July 1, the USDA, it did extend waivers for us to continue to operate under the summer food service program. And what that did is it allowed school divisions to offer meals to all families at no cost. So looking at the budget for Fund 51, we originally estimated $10.9 million. The revised budget is $14.7 million. Overall, which is broken out on the slide, it's an additional $3.8 million. That additional revenue is primarily coming from federal funds. So looking at our federal funds, we are estimating an additional $5.9 million, and this is directly driven by that summer food service program extension by the USDA. But also, we did receive some additional dollars from the federal government just to help school food and nutrition services just dealing with any supply chain issues that have been experienced because of the pandemic. You will see, and I'm going to go back for a second, for our cash sales and other funds in total, they are about $1.3 million less than what we originally estimated. And that is because we weren't operating under a traditional school year by charging school meal prices. So we're accounting for that adjustment in this revision. And then additionally, when we originally introduced the budget that was approved by the school board, we had asked for using about $889,000 of fund balance, but because of the additional federal funds, we no longer need to utilize any fund balance for this school year. That additional revenue, we do not expect to actually use it in this school year, and that is just based on how our expenditures are trending at this point in time. But we still need to account for those additional dollars, and they would just be included in fund balance come June 30th of 2022. So looking at our next fund, which is Fund 95, the Instructional Resource Toolkit. So this new fund was established on July 1 of 2021. Dr. Caggiano and I presented to the school board last summer. And at that time, we expected the budget to be about $88,000. We are happy to report, and this is really kudos to Dr. Caggiano and his team. We had 6 customers, and we are expecting about 170,000. So that is 93% more than what we originally estimated. So we are again coming back to the school board just to approve that revised budget based on actual revenue received this year.
Enterprise funds?
That's the enterprise fund.
What?
Then our last budget for this update is the Fund 94 athletics budget. The original approved budget was $669,000. This revision is up to $740,000. That is about $71,200 difference. And really what is driving that is one, we did see a decrease in our other local funds, and that primarily is with ticket sales. And you'll remember with the pandemic, we did put some restrictions in place when we first started the year. But we did see the need for additional expenses. So for example, our helmet reconditioning, we wanted to make sure that we still had revenue to cover that. So included in this revised budget is an additional funding of $98,000 from Fund 50 to make sure that those athletic expenditures are covered despite lower than expected ticket sales. So that does conclude this other funds budget update for fiscal year 2022, and included on the deliberation agenda tonight is a request for the school board recommending and asking for approval for these revisions as presented for the current school year 2022. Thank you.
Comments from board members?
Yeah, Dr. Mason.
Yes, Mr. Samuel?
Okay, Ms.
Branch.
Ms. Branch, and I had to think about it. So, Ms. Branch, the increase in the federal funds of $5.9 million, that fund, is it a part of the ESSER fund that has to be spent by 2024?
No, these funds are directly from the USDA under the Summer Food Service Program.
Okay, so we don't have to return these funds to?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Chair?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Branch, thank you for that report. Good news. But I do want to give special kudos also to Dr. Caggiano's staff. I mean, Mr. Samuels has said from the beginning that was going to be an amazing project and would reap us great dividends, and it has done that. So I'm real pleased to see that. I'm also pleased to see that In spite of some funding issues, that we were able to accommodate some of the things we needed in athletics, especially with the reconditioning of the helmets and those pieces that speak to the helmets in terms of making sure we look at concussions for our student athletes. I think that's very important that we're putting their health and safety first, above the dollar bill, if you will. So I want to give special kudos to you and Ms. Mayor and all of the athletic directors who take it seriously every day in making sure that safety is first when we look at all of our athletes throughout the division.
Yes.
Thank you.
And can I also piggyback on that, Dr. Mason, as it relates to our policy that we recently approved, our approve our in deliberation regarding cardiac language, I believe. So would some of these funds be also used to make sure that we have the proper equipment, Dr. Smith, in the event that we have a student that experienced a cardiac arrest situation on the field?
So these funds in particular were for the helmet reconditioning.
Okay.
But I can go back and have a conversation with Beth
Yeah.
just to talk through what are the future expenses
Expenses.
for the athletic program.
Yeah. And if you could just let the board know, what does that look like and the cost for those machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe in one other presentation that was given to the board, Ms. Mayor or an assistant of hers talked about the fact that Mr. Samuels would be looking very closely at those cardiac issues and making sure that not only were pieces in place facility-wise, but that people were properly trained to not only look at what happens when, but to look at what could possibly happen. So I think that's good.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions from board members? I would like to say, in regards to the instructional resource toolkit budget, I was at an event this past weekend and met a superintendent from one of the divisions that had actually utilized this service from Hampton City Schools, and he talked so much about how his scores have improved in his division thanks to what we're doing here at Hampton City Schools and utilizing the services that we have. So he continued to sing the praises of Dr. Smith, Dr. Casciano, Kate Maslow. He talked about all of you guys and what you guys bring to the table and just how much we are an asset as a division to the state and not just Hampton City Schools. So kudos to the team for that. All right. Dr. Smith?
Mr. Chair, the final report will be the business and operations, and I think Ms. Branch, the financial report?
Yes. So good evening again. Tonight I'll be presenting the April 2022 monthly operating report. At the end of April, the revenues, and this is looking at Fund 50, the school operating fund, they total $183 million and were 9.24% higher when compared to the previous fiscal year. As with other months, as previously reported, that difference is driven by additional state revenue and then also additional local contribution, all in line with what was approved for fiscal year 2022. Our cumulative expenditures and encumbrances, they total $198 million. This is about 4% higher compared to the prior year. Much of that driven by additional capital projects within our school buildings and also the compensation costs that were approved and implemented July 1 of 2021. And then included in the report, you'll see that our March 31st average daily membership was 18,782. That is a 31 count difference compared to where we budgeted at 18,813. We are continuing not only to look at what the impact of the March 31st ADM will be, but as we get closer to having a state budget, not only for next school year, there also may be some implications for this current school year, fiscal year 2022. So there will be more to come on that later. And included, as always, you will have that list of transfers to and from the technology classification for April 2022. And that concludes the board report for tonight. Thank you.
All right. Questions from board members? Dr. Woodhouse, do you have any questions, comments?
Okay. Great.
No, sir. I was having some problem with my coming off of being muted. But no, sir, I don't have any questions.
All right, thank you.
That concludes superintendent and staff reports. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Branch. All right, next, hearing of any delegations or presentation of any written communications or petitions. Ms. Bowers, will you please read the protocol?
Citizens are invited to address the school board on matters of public concern about the school division. Speaker forms are available prior to the start of the meeting. If you wish to address the school board, please complete the form and give it to the clerk. Each individual will have 3 minutes to speak. At the end of your time, you will hear a buzzer. All comments shall be directed to the school board. Speakers may not yield their time to another. Speakers should address the school board with decorum on policy issues. Comments shall relate to agenda items or matters germane to the business or duties of the school board. Speakers comment on individuals at their own risk of violating confidentiality laws and are defaming the subjects of their comments. Neither the school board, the superintendent, nor the school administration will respond publicly to any comments by speakers about individuals. Presentation of resolutions, declarations, proclamations, manifestos, awards, or other similar documents not originated under the auspices of the school board or administration is prohibited during the public comment period. The audience is asked to be respectful of all speakers. Public comment is the school board's opportunity to listen to the speaker. Since our purpose is to hear from you, the board will not engage in dialogue with the audience or whomever is at the podium. Matters requiring a response will be directed to the superintendent for research and response. The superintendent may report back on such matters at a subsequent business meeting session as appropriate. The school board carefully considers your comments as we decide matters that are brought before us. We appreciate your attendance and your input.
All right, thank you, Ms. Bowers. First up, we have David Dietrich. And Mr. Moore, you're up next after Mr. Dietrich. Okay.
Good evening, Dr. Smith, Dr. Mason, members of the school board. My name is David Dietrich, 139 Wilderness Road. First of all, impressive set of students, distinguished graduates earlier. So congratulations on making some good products out of our school system. Next, masking. I'm just curious about the kabuki theater of the masks of this school board here. You take them on, you put them off for pictures, you put them back on. You're really making a mockery of science, and you're making yourselves look foolish. Why not just leave them off and get on with business and get on with life? Because it just doesn't really look good all the way around. We've had some, of course, another big school shooting in Texas, and it looks very bad all around. School security there obviously didn't perform, and the response was rather pathetic. What is this school system doing about our security? You could do this community a lot of service by telling the members of the community what you're doing. What are you doing with the extra millions of dollars you've gotten to treat COVID that you've mentioned is still not been spent? You could do a lot to harden our schools to prevent such a shooting, hire more school resource officers. So there's a lot you can do, and it would be of great benefit to our community to tell them what you're doing about that. Moving on to racism in our school system. It's still very significant that it seems like a lot of time and energy is spent on teaching students about that. For example, Dr. Mason's his background with the NAACP. Well, if that organization is about advancing colored people, how are you advancing colored students in our school system? Dr. Smith, you're very big on equity. That's come down from our federal government. How does equity help our students be better citizens? How does it help them be better people? If you don't treat people equally, if you treat them unequally, which is what equity is about, equal outcomes, how does that benefit anybody in society as a whole? Patrice Cullors and Black Lives Matter has done nothing beneficial for this society, and I hope you're not telling our students that she has. She doesn't care one rat's about what's going on with black children in Chicago, for example, where I grew up. Same with Nicole Hannah-Jones and the 1619 Project. What does that have to do with educating our students? We need a report card out of our school system to say what's going on here and how well you're doing.
Thank you.
The
Mr.
model
Moore?
student program, I think, is a good one, and I think you can measure those metrics and project that to the community about how well you're meeting that requirement. Thank you very kindly, and have a good night.
Thank you.
Good evening. Good to see everybody again.
Good evening.
Blind joke, but anyway. Piggybacking on the, I guess, with the in the school security, unfortunately, from the latest in Texas, but I do believe, hopefully, in that it's enforced, continued strict enforcement with the single point of entry in schools, strict ID check, and that, especially during when children are in schools, that the all doors are locked during those hours except for that single point of entry. Of course, adhering with all fire and safety laws. I know in the spring, HB 8 was brought up through the House in the state, and it passed, unfortunately, with school resource officers and some training issues with arming them. Obviously, meeting safety requirements for those positions. It has sadly died in the Senate as of now, but just would like to encourage the board, elected officials to reach out to delegates Cordoza and Delegate Ward and Senator Locke to try to work with them and maybe work with that a little bit more and try to get that back through the Senate to help and protect the safety of our children in the city. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Jennifer Hergut. And following her will be Ms. Marks.
Jennifer Hergut, 146 Cardinal Lane, Yorktown, Virginia, 23693. I'm Jennifer. I'm a mother and a grandmother. Is anyone here aware of the Pfizer documents for the COVID-19 vaccine? I've personally spoken with 5 doctors and they were unaware. The FDA tried to have the documents sealed for 75 years until 2096. A Texas judge ordered the release and the first set came out on March 1st. I've read some of the first 55,000 pages, and I'm following the doctors that are going through the documents. I'm a strong supporter of informed consent. There are 9 pages of adverse reactions that were known by February 28, 2021, over a year ago. Within these 9 pages, there are approximately 40 autoimmune diseases. Should your immune system be compromised, your body can't protect itself properly. Has anyone here heard about the hepatitis outbreak in children? There are 6 different types of hepatitis listed in these 9 pages. The doctors have not been given this information. Not being talked about is shingles, also called herpes zoster. I know of 5 people that have gotten shingles, 6 now. 2 of them are in their 20s, and doctors said it was because of stress. But the doctors have not been given this information. This normally occurs in people over the age of 50. Maybe a weakened immune system. There are over 50 types of herpes in these 9 pages. To find these adverse events in the Pfizer documents, go to phmpt.org, click on the Pfizer documents, put in 5.3.6 in the search bar for the adverse reactions. Go to pages 30 to 38. This is only for side effects known as of February 28, 2021. My hope is that parents have informed consent prior to vaccinating their children or any family members. I have additional information that I will leave over there if someone would like. Thank you, board members, for allowing me to speak. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Ms. Marks?
My name is Brenda Marks, and I live at 54 Marina Road. I stand here before you tonight on behalf of my child and all the other similarly situated children who are entitled to a free and appropriate public education despite their disability that is not being provided by this division. It is my belief that my daughter has been emotionally abused by her 7th grade general education math teacher, Chanel Wills, in retaliation for my demand that she provide the services and accommodations to my child. This division has condoned that abuse and put every block in my way to prevent my efforts to hold this teacher accountable for her actions and ensure that no other child with special needs be subjected to her abuse because she must do a little extra work. Yes, Dr. Smith scheduled a meeting by Zoom, but that meeting was only scheduled 6 weeks after I originally asked for it. I had the paperwork documentation, and it took a second email threatening to go to 10 on your side to get it scheduled. When Cox had technical issues in my area and I could not connect for that Zoom meeting, I was told in front of several board members that that meeting would be rescheduled. Instead, I received an email from this board's legal representative advising me that I was only to speak to the building principal and the head of special education. Knowing that directive to be an infringement upon my rights granted by law, I have advised Ms. Reeves by return email that I will speak to whomever it takes to resolve the problems that impact me and my child in this division. I have provided you the proof through the Nextdoor thread that I am not the only parent that has the same problems and who feels this way. The private emails I was asked not to share with anyone will make you cry. If you want to consider me a draining parent, go right ahead, but you can stop the drain whenever you fix the problem. But I promise you, standing here tonight on my dying breath, I am not going away, and I will not quit until my child gets whatever it takes every day for her to achieve the academic excellence she is capable of. Until she does, your motto is a lie, and every time you disseminate that motto, verbally or in writing, this board is a fraud. The harder you push to cover this up or block my due process rights, the louder I will become, and the lengths to which I will go are all legal and endless. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Craig Knopp. And following Mr. Knopp will be Ms. Bethea.
Good afternoon, school board. My name is Craig Knopp. I live at 6 St. Albans Drive. Just here to talk about a few things. A couple things. The mask mandate, just checking to see where we are with the update on that, whether it's still open in the Alexandria Court District. I'm not real sure on that. I did not have time to check on that. I'll just email you guys and ask if it's still open and why it's still open. One other thing is with the recent activities at some of the schools, what I'd like to do is help whatever I can, and whether it be recruiting different people for school resource officers, but in trying to help out with some of that, what some of the things that the General Assembly was trying to do this year with some of the bills was trying to expand and allow different individuals to come in as different SROs. I believe what they're trying to do is change some of the criteria for hiring them. I could be wrong on that. If not, though, that is some of the actions I'd like to see us take as the General Assembly between Delegate Ward, Delegate Cordoza, and Senator Locke. I'd like to see them expand the possibility for hiring more SROs in here, not just through the police, but through other means. So that would be a good help to a lot of cities around here. If you guys don't know, Virginia Beach had to recall some of their school resource officers back out onto the street, so that does impact our school security right there. As we have seen through some of the instances, some of the security measures that were put into effect were not followed, and that kind of aided in what has happened with some recent events, which is so I just hope that we're following through with our security measures, that we are following those, so that we don't have incidents like what we have seen nationwide here lately. Some of the other things I like to do is, I've talked about numerous times about volunteering. Volunteering is very hard to get people interested in, especially students. And that's one of the things I'm trying to correct in Hampton, is potential project wants to kind of maybe mentor different individuals and get them to come out here with different volunteering. So what it does is it empowers that individual. It also empowers people around them. When you see somebody trying to make a change for the positive, it also encourages others to make that change. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens with a consistency of happening, of that, seeing that person making good choices and having good influence throughout the city. One of the things I'd like to do, though, is I did not know it, that Bluebird Gap had a volunteer program. That's something I learned tonight, and I love coming to school board meetings. I love coming to the city council meetings as well and learning this type of stuff. So, but I'd like to get with you guys after this and talk about some more volunteer opportunities that I did not realize we had. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bethea? And following Ms. Bethea will be Dwayne Bourne.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Chair, Dr. Mason, Vice Chair, Ms. Cherry, other members of the board, Dr. Smith, and the other staff that's here tonight. I'm just here this evening to kind of close the loop from when I was before you last month. I was excited to learn that some of the ESSER funds could be used for private tutoring. And then I was disappointed to find out that those funds could not be used for private tutoring because of legal constraints that were attached to those funds. I do want to thank Mrs. Judge and Dr. Caggiano for making time to meet with me last Thursday to discuss those particular concerns. And I just want to touch briefly on them. What they shared with me was that the Department of Education and the Virginia Department of Education had legal constraints tied to those funds, so that when I said tutor, I wasn't talking about a high school tutor. I wasn't talking about using those funds to pay me. I was talking about a certified special education teacher. She's licensed by the Virginia Department of Education. She has other staff, reading specialists. She's actually it is a private educational center for diverse learners. Now, it's unfortunate that those funds cannot be used for our children. You know, it really is. So FEV tutor, your big box tutor program that you all are using, that's great for the majority of the students in the division. But for those students like my grandson, they don't meet his unique needs. So what happens to him? he's not able to tap into those resources. We also discussed other opportunities that might be available to Isaiah over the summer, and that's great, but we're going to see how that's going to go. We have an old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know. Don't mess with it, it's not broken. And so we're going to see how that pans out, but I was truly disappointed. I'm heartbroken, really heartbroken at the pushback and how all of this has been set up and those funds are not available to my grandson. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bethia. Mr. Bourne?
Dr. Smith, Dr. Mason, members of the school board, good evening. I'm Dwayne Bourne. I live at 5 Kings Point Drive in Hampton, and I'll be really, really brief. First and foremost is, we're coming to the end of the academic year. I wanted to thank you all for working collaboratively to ensure the safety and well-being of our students. I have two sons who attend school at Jones Magnet Middle School, and my wife's an educator at Kecoughtan High School. So that's very important to me. The next thing I wanted to mention is that I've been a football official here on the Peninsula for the last 12 years. I'm a member of the Peninsula Football Officials Association, and we're undergoing a really productive recruiting session this off season. Of course, as we head into the summer, this is a big time for us. So I'm coming before you all and just to make you all aware of opportunities there are to officiate football. I've gotten tremendous benefits from being a football official locally. One of which is I'm able to participate in a sport, of course, I've loved. And I also really believe that football, or even all interscholastic sports, is an extension of the classroom. And I don't think most people realize how important sports plays into the development of our students, of our children. The lessons learned, wins, losses, even bad calls from people like myself, those are all lessons that they'll extend to the workplace, to their own personal lives. Long story less long, please, I encourage folks to visit the Peninsula Football Officials Association's website. That's at pfoafootball.org. Again, pfoafootball.org. You don't necessarily have to be an on the field official like myself. There are also opportunities to work the chains and to be an electronic clock operator. Of course, it's open to men and women 18 through wherever. But at any rate, I'd just love to mention that, of course, Peninsula Football Officials Association. I was blessed to have the opportunity to officiate the state championship game between Oscar Smith and South County at Old Dominion a couple of months ago. And those are the opportunities, of course, the lifetime of experiences that I'm blessed to have and would love to have, more men and women like myself join our association. So with that said, I appreciate it. I appreciate you all. And Ms. Bowers or Madam Clerk, I'll share with you some of the flyers that I've brought with me this evening. So thank you all.
Thank you. Next up, we have Iris Middleton. And following Ms. Middleton would be, it looks like it's Childs Frazier.
Hello, Dr. Mason, Vice Chair Terry, and Dr. Smith, and the rest of the school board members. Thank you for this time. I'm going to speak fast because I am trying to cover a lot really quickly. So my daughter tried out for cheerleading in the 8th grade, and she didn't make it. When she didn't make it, I reached out to the coach, and I was told that they do not discuss the evaluations and how to help them improve. Now, when she didn't make it, it was very odd because most of you know me, I own a dance studio. My students are champions, and every one of my students have made cheerleading. However, this coach didn't like me, and because she didn't like me, my daughter was singled out. This led me down a journey that was really frustrating because I'm trying to explain to people my child is being targeted, so I take her over to Fame. She goes over to Fame. I pay hundreds of dollars. She travels all over. They immediately throw her on the team, and we're competing. She comes back. She tries out the next year. She gets cut again. The administrator, Mr. Crawford, tries to assist. He is going and really advocating for me and trying to make it better. However, a third trial is forced, and my baby is cut yet a third time. Again, the last two captains on the Kecoughtan team are both good dance project dancers. I was treated rudely by this coach. I went to Mr. Brown Lucas, but because there's so much tape, red tape, to get heard, you have to watch your child come and cry to you and hurt, and as a parent, you feel extremely powerless. This was so frustrating that they gave a dance team they let me start a dance team at the school. I started the dance team, and I watched the coaches bully my child. I watched them talk to the children. For instance, we were supposed to dance at a game, and they said they're not going to dance at that game. We're going to make sure they told the cheerleaders who relayed that information, and we were aware before the dancers even got to take the floor that they wouldn't be given the opportunity. This led to an exchange between the coach and I, and my frustration took over, and the dance team was removed from Kecoughtan High School. However, my daughter went to be looked at by the coach of Hampton High School, who said, this is odd, this kid should be on varsity. Phoebus High School, odd, this child should be on varsity. But there was nobody to intervene in the middle to allow that opportunity for a child who deserves it to be there and not be excluded due to personal reasons between a parent and a child. A parent and a coach. Now she's at Phoebus High School, new coach. I went to her yesterday, I said, have you looked at my daughter? She said, who, that one? I can't tell you right now, but your daughter couldn't make JV? After going through all of these circles, I speak to the athletic director at Phoebus who says, well, we encourage all of the kids to be on the team. And then there's another coach who's only got 4 members on the team. When I had that dance team, I saw children who had disabilities. I saw children who needed me to work with them, and they had an opportunity to improve, maybe because I'm an educator, but I'm asking you to please consider allowing there to be a space for all the children to be participating in cheerleading.
Thank you.
My name is Candace Childs Frazier, and I live at 1620 Tides Lane in Hampton, Virginia. Basically, just kind of piggybacking off of Ms. Middleton as far as the children. My daughter was the captain at Kecoughtan High School on the cheerleading squad. During the time that the young lady tried out for the cheerleading squad, she did not make it, which I was shocked, which I know them, like I said, they're very close to me. I received a call, my daughter did, a FaceTime call in reference to Miss Middleton and her daughter, and the reference she made was, why do you have this crazy lady and her daughter calling, harassing me? So I had an actual conversation with her, and it didn't go too well. I asked, I said, well, why wouldn't you have, alternates? I don't do alternates. Everything was basically what she will and will not do. So I took it to the next level. What I was told after that was, when we went to the first parent meeting, we were advised by the coach that future reference, don't go over my head because it's only going to come back to me. My issue is, like she stated, when it comes to kids, I feel like this is their opportunity. We've all been in high school. We've all had these opportunities. Why would you take an opportunity from a child that she cannot get back, you understand, because you have an issue with the parent? If you're dealing with people's children, you should be dealing with the parents. To make a statement to children to say, make sure you go home and tell your parents this information because I don't like to deal with parents, then you shouldn't be a coach. To deal with children, again, you should have to deal with the parents. My daughter was the captain, like I stated, and was told by her several times that she was the captain going into her senior year. When this all came down, because I stepped up and said something, she kind of removed that from my daughter and made it kind of hard for her to try out. She still made the captain spot. I didn't have any doubt in my mind that she wouldn't. The whole point is that a child should never, ever, as adults and especially educators, we should be encouraging children, not taking things away from them, because you have an issue with the parent. It's not just this child. I've witnessed several children, going through different situations. I have parents that have said to me, well, my daughter said, don't say anything because you're only going to make the issue worse. My issue is I went to the administrators, and this was last June. It is June 1st. When I heard from Vice Principal Whiteman, the first time I heard from her was in, I believe it was October or November, and her conversation was, hello, I heard you were trying to reach me while I called you. Okay, have a great day. And I never heard anything again. I mean, to some people, this may not be a big deal, but to me it is, because again, as children, they're the ones that affected. This child's self-esteem was affected. She should not have to go through this. You understand? If someone had just stepped up and said something. And even as the administrator, even Mr. Crawford, well, we had a lot of complaints about the football team and other teams or whatever, the sports teams, and that they just needed to make some adjustments. My point is, I hope going into the next year that those adjustments are made, seriously.
Thank you. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is deliberation. Item 6.01, FY 2020-2021-22, other funds 5194.95. 6.02, review of school board policy GBAC, standards of conduct. 6.03, review of school board policy GBG, staff participation in political/religious activities. 6.04, review of school board policies GCBDJ, leave donation and transfer, and GCBDJ-R, leave donation and transfer regulations. 6.05, review of school board policy JBAA, section 504, non-discrimination policy and grievance procedures. 6.06, revision of school board policy IGBA, programs for students with disabilities. 6.07, revision of school board policy IGBB, programs for gifted students. 6.08, review of school board policy IGBG, homebound instruction. 6.09, revision of school board policy IGDA, student organizations. 6.10, review of school board policy IHB, class size and teacher assignments. And 6.11, 2022-2023 Students' Rights and Responsibilities Handbook, which we heard earlier as well. All right. So the first one, FY 2021-22, other funds 5194.95. We've just heard from Ms. Branch. Is Ms. Branch still here?
She is, Mr. Chair. And unless the members of...
Any questions from the board?
Was it the administration's desire to move that to action?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No other information to be presented for this agenda item. It was included in the presentation earlier this evening.
Okay. And is it your request to move this?
Yes, if it's the board's pleasure. Yes.
Okay. All right. Recommendations from the board?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Ms. Kilgore.
I move that we take deliberation item 6.01 and make it action item 8.11 this evening.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. It's been moved by Mr. Kilgore and seconded by Ms. Afonja that we move 6.01 from deliberation to items for action is 8.11. Any discussion? Ms. Bowers, would you please call for the vote?
Mr. Samuels?
Aye.
Dr. Woodhouse?
Aye.
Ms. Afonja?
Aye.
Ms. Cherry?
Aye.
Mr. Kilgore?
Aye.
Dr. Mason?
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Branch. And I said Ms. Branch. All right, next up, the next 1, 2, 3, 4, Ms. Ruth. Any questions from board members on the next 4, 6.02 to 6.05? All right. Thank you. All right. And next we have 6.06 to 6.10, all under Dr. Caggiano. Any questions?
No, not a question, Dr. Mason, if I'm able to speak. I'm just, it's just comment that Dr. Caggiano and I were able to have conversation about the language. So we're going to stay with the language that to include parents and guardian. As we discussed that we have families and children that are in the school division that may be legal guardian, our legal entity of the foster care system or Kennebec Vento. So it will be good for us to keep that language to include guardian.
Mhm.
So thank you, Dr. Caggiano.
All right, anything else? All right, and item 6.11, we heard earlier, is 2022-2023 Rights and Responsibilities Handbook revisions. Any questions or comments we didn't answer earlier, get earlier?
Mr. Chair, is there a desire by the administration to move that one as well due to timing?
I did not receive a specific request to move this one. Are they asking Ms.
I don't
Hatcher?
know. Sometimes there's a printing problem.
Right.
that will-
Printing, so if there's any questions
Yep,
or if
this one can stay.
prepared,
Okay.
Very good.
it's fine also to move it.
Okay, all right.
I just have one quick question.
Yes, Ms. Sherry.
With the revisions that were made, that were pointed out earlier,
Mhm.
we are still distributing these to parents and asking them to sign, saying that they fully read and understand what all of the provisions are in the Rights and Responsibility Handbook, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
every
just
student
wanted to
has
double check.
access electronically, and then they are printed in the planners for elementary and middle, and then there are always hard copies available at the school. And schools have a procedure the first day of school that this information is shared.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yes.
All right. All right. Moving along, item number 7 on the agenda, deliberation first read, item 7.01, revision of school board policy BBBC, student representative to the board, to the school board. And that belongs to Ms. Reeves, if you want to.
Yes, Mr. Chair, this is a policy with regard to our student representatives, and at the board's request, they have made a revision so that the number of student representatives is going to increase to up to 4.
Okay. All right. Any questions from board members? Okay.
Yes, I have a, or more of a comment.
Yes.
I feel that this policy is very interesting, and I think that it can be very impactful for the students of the district. I think that this will provide a great opportunity for collaboration among the different students to be able to think about policies and the best way to impact the students around us.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Considering as we're moving forth into the new school year, I would like to make a motion that we move deliberation first read item 7.01 to items for action, which would make it action item 8.12.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved by Ms. Sherry and seconded by Mr. Samuels that we move item for deliberation first read 7.01 to items for action as 8.12. Any questions, comments from the board members? All right. Ms. Bowers, would you please call for the vote?
Dr. Woodhouse?
Aye.
Ms. Lafanja?
Aye.
Ms. Cherry?
Aye.
Mr. Kilgore?
Aye.
Mr. Samuels?
Aye.
Dr. Mason?
Aye, motion carries. All right. Next item is action item 8 items for action. 8.01, revision of school board policy BB, school board legal status. 8.02, revision of school board policy BBAA, board member authority and responsibilities. 8.03, revision of school board policy BCB, board officers. 8.04, revision of school board policy BCC, school board clerk and deputy clerk. 8.05, revision of school board policy BDB, special board meetings. 8.06, revision of school board policy BDC, closed meetings. 8.07, revision of school board policy BDDF, voting method. 8.08, revision of school board policy BF, board policy manual. 8.09, new school board policy BHB, school board member in-service activities. Item 8.10, revision of school board policy CF, school building administration. 8.11, the new 2021-2022 other funds, 51, 94, and 95, which was moved from deliberation. And then item 8.12, revision of school board policy BBBC, student representative to the school board, which was moved from item number 7.01. What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Kilgore.
I move that we approve action item 8.01 through 8.10 and 8.12 as a block.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. It's been properly moved by Mr. Kilgore and seconded by Ms. Afonja that we approve items 8.01 through 8.10 and 8.12 as a block. Any discussion? Ms. Bowers, would you please call for the vote?
Ms. Afonja?
Aye.
Ms. Cherry?
Aye.
Mr. Kilgore?
Aye.
Mr. Samuels?
Aye.
Dr. Woodhouse?
Aye.
Dr. Mason?
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. All right, that leaves item 8.11, and that would be the fiscal year 2021-22 other funds budget of 51, 94, and 98. What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved by Mr. Samuels and seconded by Ms. Afonja that we approve item 8.11, fiscal year 2021-2022 other funds budget 51, 94, and 95. Any discussion? Ms. Bowers, would you please call for the vote?
Ms. Cherry?
Aye.
Mr. Kilgore?
Yes, I have a statement to read before I vote.
Yes.
As a member of the school board of the city of Hampton, Virginia, I acknowledge that I have an interest in the fiscal year 2021-2022 school budget funds 51, 94, and 95 because my wife is an employee of Hampton City Schools. However, I believe that I am able to participate in the vote on the budget fairly, objectively, and in the public interest. My vote is aye.
Mr. Samuels?
Aye.
Dr. Woodhouse?
Aye.
Ms. Afonja?
Aye.
Dr. Mason?
Aye, motion carries. All right, next on the agenda is information. Next meeting, a work session will be held at 6:30 on June the 15th at the Rupert Sargent Building. The next regular meeting will be held at 6:30 on July 13th here at Jones Magnet School. Also, the board members will be attending graduations June 16th, 17th, and 18th at the Hamptons Coliseum. All right? All right. And other information, Mr. Superintendent?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And as you indicated, we are looking forward to the graduation ceremonies that are scheduled as you indicated starting on June the 16th with Hampton at 7 p.m. and then June the 17th. Phoebus at 7 p.m. June the 18th, Kecoughtan at 9 a.m. and on June the 18th that afternoon, Bethel at 1:30 p.m. So we look forward to a great time in terms of celebrating and recognizing all of our young people and their accomplishments, and certainly members of the class of 2022. And tonight we had an opportunity to certainly, as indicated, we've recognized our Salutatorians and Valedictorians, and I'm also delighted to share that on March, actually it was May the 14th at the Virginia Beach Convention Center. I'll take my mask off for this one. And that we had an opportunity to really recognize also at the 200-plus men scholars breakfast, 168 African-American male students from Hampton City Schools who had a GPA of 3.0 or higher. That's really important, especially as we talk about equity and we talk about meeting the needs of all young people. And so I wanted to give some context that, of course, it was a pleasure that our chair was there and members of the division leadership team and principals to really recognize the students from Hampton City Schools. So thank you.
Yes, and it is important to note that we did have the largest number of that, I think a total of 766 African-American boys that were recognized. We had the largest number of students in that number.
We did.
Yes. Other board members? Anyone else? Mr. Kilgore?
Just a quick compliment to Ms. Galloway from Kilgore Gifted Center and the students from Kilgore Gifted Center, they did a play. I guess it was either 3 or 4 night play of Moana, and it had probably close to 100 students involved. It was absolutely amazing. Just a really, really good performance. A lot of engagement from volunteers. Took a lot of people to pull it off, but it was a really good performance. So just wanted to compliment them on a great job.
Okay, great. And one thing I would like to just share with everyone, this morning I had the opportunity to visit Hampton High School to watch a young man receive a scholarship in the name of one of our former school board members, Judy Braithwaite. Judy passed away in '97, and her family started a foundation to give a scholarship every year, and they've been giving this scholarship away since 1999. And Judy was a huge advocate of children and education here in Hampton City Schools. And this morning, the Family Foundation awarded a $1,000 scholarship to Cole Swan, who is a graduating senior African-American male with a 3.9, we were corrected this morning, it's 3.9 GPA from Hampton High School, who will be attending Virginia Commonwealth University. So thank you to the Judy Braithwaite Family Foundation for continuing to support the legacy of Judy here in Hampton City Schools. And also congratulations to Cole Swan and his family.
And so Dr. Mason, also joining us for that presentation of that scholarship was also Vice Mayor Jimmy Gray.
Yes.
Which demonstrate this collaborative effort between City Council and the school division. We are a family, so it was such a pleasure to have Dr. Mason, Dr. Jimmy Gray, Vice Mayor Jimmy Gray in attendance also. So
yes. And Mr. Samuels was there, and it's also his daughter received the same scholarship last year. Yes, she is also a Judy Braithwaite scholar. So yes, awesome.
Yeah, I mean, one other observation,
Yes.
or two others. As you know, during the pandemic, what became very popular at a time when we really started the decorated vehicle parades, we're continuing at each of the high schools because each graduating class, they are eager to continue that tradition, and so on. We are.
Yes.
And so on June the 4th will be Kecoughtan at 9 a.m. Also on the 4th will be Phoebus at 1:30 p.m. And then on the 11th will be Hampton High at 9 a.m. And then on the 11th, Bethel will be at 1:30 p.m. And of course, you will recall that the first year we had a very formal set design for guests and so forth, and this is really an opportunity really now to highlight the young people and the graduates as they come through and so forth, and to give the community an opportunity to embrace and celebrate all of our young people. So just wanted to share that. And one final note that just for the viewing audience, so that you would know that our safety and security measures are really highlighted on our division's website. And those things that are for public consumption, there are some things that we do not place on the website because it's not for public consumption.
As are our many, many academic accomplishments.
Absolutely.
Okay. If you can read.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Tamiya, any comments? Okay, with no other business being brought before the board, then I declare this meeting adjourned.